Simon, you've talked about turbocharging knowledge management. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, people often, when they talk about knowledge management, they say knowledge management's all about people and process and it's not technology. And yes, that's true up to a point. It is very much about people and process and culture and sharing. But that doesn't mean that technology is not important. And I think with the advent of a number of new tools that help with knowledge management, you can really accelerate and improve your effort and leverage, if you like, the people and process side of things by using these tools to make things more efficient. So the two are not exclusive, they're really complementary and increasingly so.
Which types of knowledge management do you think can benefit from these new tools?
Well, the first one is in the area of content capture and organization, and there's a lot of tools that can help with that. In particular, faster and more accurate ingestion of knowledge and categorization of that knowledge as it comes in. And if you like, also blending streams of internal and external knowledge. There's so much coming in the world today. There's such a huge volume of data and information and insight that the ability to grasp all of that, categorize it effectively as it comes in, and make it usable is really a key success factor and becoming more and more challenging as the volumes grow. The second thing is providing richer navigation to that content, and that means not just drilling down on concepts like you might have done in a traditional taxonomy hierarchy, but also going across, going laterally, and thinking about related concepts and other topics that could be relevant to the same search. For instance, if people are initially searching for news about an industry, you might link them to regulatory topics or environmental topics or other things that are relevant to that industry that you wouldn't have found in a straightforward keyword search. The third thing would be highlighting themes that are relevant to the situation of the organization and highlighting them in a more automatic way so that, if you like, your situational awareness is enhanced. And the same tools could also be used for flagging sensitive content that might be available in your knowledge system and that you maybe want to route in a different direction.
And are there other areas that can benefit as well?
Well, another one we find very important is the codification of tacit knowledge, the knowledge that's in people's heads. And of course, this is getting more and more important with the retirement bulge as more and more people are leaving the workforce, and potentially you're getting a huge outflow of useful knowledge that's not being captured and is potentially being wasted. So we found one way to do this is through exit interviews. We found that's generally not enough unless the knowledge is very high level and general. You need to capture it in a more concrete and structured way, especially if it's detailed knowledge about processes or other things that require a lot of detail and flow in the knowledge description. And there are new tools that let you capture this kind of knowledge in a structured decision tree kind of format, where you're asking if-then kinds of questions and giving people prescriptions on different ways to go. It's kind of like you might do on a user help desk for a technology organization, but applying this across a much broader range of business problems and process problems, it can be quite successful. And it's also quite user-friendly with new tools. The other area I'd like to talk about is digital assets, because there's this huge increase in the volume of video and pictures as well as conventional knowledge. And there's one challenge, which is actually managing these kinds of digital assets, and there are systems that make that easier. But the more interesting part, I think, is using those to augment traditional knowledge management, because often, as we know, project databases in KM systems can be very dry and a little dull to look at. You can really liven these up with pictures and video and discussion that go beyond the pure text. And making that kind of connection with these new tools is also a very interesting way to enrich and enliven a knowledge system.
Thank you, Simon. How would you sum up the benefits of knowledge management now?
Well, it's still ultimately about people and process, but I think this discussion highlights the fact that tools can play a very rich and important role in helping you scale up these capabilities and also enrich them from a user experience point of view. So I think it's important to be aware of these new technologies and to think about ways to use them that could make your knowledge management program more successful.
Thank you.